What if the real reason you haven't reached your goals isn't you? It's the system you've been using. Every January, millions set resolutions. By February, most have already given up. But what if failure isn't a sign of weakness, but a clue that your strategy needs a reset? Maybe you've bought the new sneakers, made the perfect playlist, and promised yourself this year would be different. But then life happens. You pause, uncertain, motivation fades, the treadmill gathers dust. But here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they lack willpower. They fail because they're using the wrong approach. What if you could change the system and finally get real results? In this video, you'll discover the secret to bouncing back, building micro habits, and turning failure into unstoppable momentum. Ready to reset? Let's get real results, starting now. Let's talk about that gym membership. You know the one. The one you signed up for on January 2nd, full of energy and optimism. You had the new sneakers, the perfect playlist. You were going to transform your life. But now, it's just another charge on your credit card. The sneakers are gathering dust by the door. The only running you're doing is running late for work. Sound familiar? You are not alone. Research shows most people abandon New Year's resolutions before the first month ends. So if you're feeling like a failure, stop it. You're just normal. The problem isn't your willpower or laziness. The problem is how we set goals. We go big, massive, life-altering transformations that look great on paper but fail in real life. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to write a novel. I'm going to meditate for an hour every single day. These aren't goals, they're dreams. Without a realistic plan, dreams turn into disappointment and shame. We treat goal setting like a one-time event, a big announcement. Then we forget the messy middle. Life happens. The kids get sick. Your boss dumps a huge project on your desk. You're exhausted. These are reality, not excuses. All or nothing goals don't fit messy lives. So when life gets real, your unrealistic expectation goes first. Let's make a pact. Stop beating ourselves up. Look at that abandoned goal not as a tombstone, but as a starting point. It's a clue about what didn't work. The failure isn't you, it was the system. Good news, you can change the system. You can start over right now. Not next January, not next Monday. The fact that you failed is proof you tried, more than most people can say. Okay, so you've fallen off the wagon. The wagon is a tiny dot in the distance. You're sitting in a ditch of self-pity, covered in metaphorical mud. What now? Most people think they have to wait for a special occasion to start over. A new week, a new month, a new year. This is a lie we tell ourselves to procrastinate. I'm giving you permission to hit the reset button right now, not tomorrow morning, right now. Your new starting line is this very second. The past is gone. It doesn't matter if you skipped the gym for a month or ate cake for breakfast. That was the old you. The new you starts now. The first step to a guilt-free reset is radical self-forgiveness. Say it out loud. I forgive myself for not being perfect. Say it again. Feel it. The guilt you're carrying is a heavy weight that serves no purpose. It won't motivate you. It will only paralyze you. It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. Drop the rocks. Forgive yourself for being human. Forgive yourself for having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. You did the best you could with what you had at the time. Now you know better, so you can do better. Don't treat your goal like fragile glass. Treat it like modeling clay. You haven't broken it, you've just dented it. Pick it up. Smooth out the dent. Start reshaping it immediately. There is no shame in this. Every successful person has reshaped goals thousands of times. Success is not a straight line. It's a messy, winding path. Resets, restarts, course corrections. Winners hit reset one more time than they fall. Here's a simple action you can take right now. Set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, do one tiny thing related to your goal. Just one. If your goal is to write a book, open a document and write one sentence. If your goal is to get fit, do 10 push-ups against the wall. If your goal is to clean your house, take out one bag of trash. This isn't about making massive progress. This is about proving you can start again instantly. Break the cycle of guilt and inaction with one small, decisive move. The reason your big, audacious goals failed is that they required a massive amount of activation energy. Your brain looked at the mountain you wanted to climb and said, nope, let's stay on the couch. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to trick your brain. Make the first step so easy, so stupidly small that your brain doesn't even have time to object. I call this making it stupid small. Build a micro habit. a behavior so tiny it feels almost silly not to do it. This bypasses resistance and builds momentum. Let's break it down. If your goal is to meditate every day, meditate for 20 minutes. Micro habit, sit on your meditation cushion for 1 minute. That's it. Anyone can do that. If your goal is to write a book, micro habit, open your laptop and write 1 sentence. Just 1. If your goal is to get in shape, micro habit, put on your running shoes and walk to the end of the driveway. The point isn't the action, it's showing up consistently. You aren't chasing results. You're building an identity. You're becoming the person who shows up. Tiny habits are threads that weave a new routine. Each completed tiny task gives a small dopamine hit, a tiny win. You teach your brain to link the behavior with success, not effort. Over time, your brain starts to crave that win. 1 minute becomes 2, then 5. The habit grows naturally, without the old struggle. Massive change isn't one giant leap. It happens in thousands of tiny, almost invisible steps. Forget motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. You need a habit so small you can do it even with zero motivation. New mantra. Just do the first tiny thing. Don't worry about step 2 or step 10. Just put on your shoes. Just write 1 sentence. Just show up. That's how you win. Your environment has a bigger impact on your success than your willpower ever will. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't rely on your ability to say no when you're tired and hungry. Get the junk food out of your house. If you want to go to the gym in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Put your sneakers right by your bed. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong thing. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. You are designing a system where your desired behavior is the path of least resistance. One of the most powerful ways to automate your habits is through habit stacking. This means you link your new, tiny habit to an existing one that you already do without thinking. After I brush my teeth in the morning, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write in my journal for 1 minute. Brushing your teeth, making coffee. This removes the need to remember or decide. It just becomes the next thing you do. Next, you need to make your progress visible. Your brain loves to see evidence that it's winning. Get a simple wall calendar and a big red marker. Every day that you complete your micro habit, put a big X on that day. Your only job is to not break the chain. The visual of that unbroken chain of X's becomes incredibly motivating. You won't want to see a blank square. This simple tracking method provides immediate feedback and creates a sense of accomplishment that fuels you to keep going, even when the results aren't obvious yet. Finally, use technology to your advantage. Track habits, set reminders, block distracting websites. Set a recurring alarm on your phone not to wake you up, but to remind you to do your micro habit. Use a notes app to jot down your 1 sentence for the day. If your goal is financial, set up an automatic transfer of a small amount of money into your savings account every payday. The less you have to rely on your own memory and discipline, the more likely you are to succeed. Automate your choices, and you'll automate your success. Let me tell you about a woman named Sarah. Sarah dreamed of starting her own baking business from home. She spent weeks perfecting her recipes. She sketched and designed a logo. She built a simple website. On her launch day, she was bursting with excitement. She posted on social media. She told all her friends and family. Then she waited for the orders to roll in. And then, crickets. For a whole week, she got 1 pity order from her mum. Sarah was crushed. The voice in her head, "You're a fraud. This was a stupid idea. Who do you think you are?" She shut down her website. She shoved her baking supplies into the back of a closet. For months, Sarah felt like a complete failure. The shame was so intense she couldn't even talk about it. Every time she scrolled Instagram and saw someone else's success, it felt like a personal attack. She had failed, and she was ready to let that failure define her. But one day, while cleaning that same closet, she found her old recipe book. She flipped through the pages, and the sting was gone. She felt the love of baking that had started it all. She remembered the why. She loved creating delicious things for people. That day, Sarah hit the reset button. She didn't relaunch her website. She didn't make a grand announcement. She did something stupidly small. She baked 1 batch of her signature cookies. She took them to the local farmer's market on a Saturday. She didn't even have a proper sign, just a handwritten note. She sold out in an hour. Strangers' feedback and smiles reignited her passion more than her fancy website ever could. She'd found a different path to her goal. Sarah went to the farmer's market every weekend. Her customers grew by word of mouth. She started taking special orders. A year later, she wasn't just on a website. She had a small, dedicated storefront. Her initial failure wasn't the end. It was a crucial plot twist. It forced her to reconnect with her passion and find an authentic way to share it. Her story is a reminder. Your comeback doesn't have to mirror the original plan. Sometimes the detour is the destination. What do you do when you achieve a goal? Most of us just tick it off the list and immediately move on to the next bigger thing. We're so focused on the finish line that we forget to enjoy the race. This is a huge mistake. If you only celebrate the final destination, you're setting yourself up for a long, joyless journey. And when the journey is a grind, you're far more likely to quit. You have to learn to celebrate the small wins along the way. These tiny celebrations are not frivolous. They are essential fuel for your motivation. A celebration doesn't have to be a big, expensive ordeal. It's about acknowledging your effort and progress. Finished your micro habit for the day? That's a win. Do a little happy dance in your living room. Say heck yes out loud. Give yourself a mental high five. It sounds silly, but these small acts of self-acknowledgement release a little burst of dopamine in your brain. You are actively training your brain to associate effort with reward, which makes you more likely to repeat the behavior tomorrow. Think about how we train puppies. When the puppy sits, we don't wait until it has a PhD in sitting to give it a treat. We reward it immediately. We say good boy and give it a pat. We need to treat ourselves with the same immediate positive reinforcement. Kept your promise to yourself to not hit the snooze button? That's a win. Celebrate it by savoring your morning coffee for 5 minutes without looking at your phone. Chose the salad over the fries at lunch? Win. Celebrate by listening to your favorite song on the way back to the office. By celebrating the small wins, you are changing your relationship with the process. The process is no longer just a means to an end. It becomes a series of rewarding moments. This builds resilience. On days when you feel like you're making no progress, you can look back and say, but I did show up. I did put the X on the calendar. I did keep the promise I made to myself. These small victories accumulate, building a foundation of confidence and self-trust that will carry you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks on the path to any meaningful goal. Let's reframe the word failure. Right now, you probably associate it with shame, disappointment, and finality. From this moment on, I want you to see failure as something completely different. Data, that's it. It's not an indictment of your character. It's not a judgment on your worth. It's simply feedback. It's information. When you tried to achieve your goal and fell short, you didn't fail. You just ran an experiment that produced a negative result. And that negative result is incredibly valuable. It tells you what does not work. Think like a scientist in a lab. If a scientist mixes 2 chemicals and they don't produce the desired reaction, does she throw her lab coat on the floor and declare herself a failed chemist? Of course not. She makes a note. Okay, that combination didn't work. And she tries a different combination. She uses the failure as data to inform her next attempt. This is exactly how you need to approach your goals. You tried the all or nothing approach, and it didn't work. Data point. You tried to rely on motivation alone, and it didn't work. Data point. This mindset shift is the most powerful tool you have. All the inspiring essays and motivational podcasts in the world won't change your life if you don't take that first step. And that first step is always the hardest. Your brain will fight you. Fear, doubt, procrastination. This is the moment where you need a tool to push you past that resistance. This is where you use the 5-second rule. The moment you have the instinct to act on your goal, I should just write that one sentence, or I should just put my gym clothes on, you have to move. You must physically move within 5 seconds, or your brain will kill the idea. So you're going to count backward from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This counting interrupts the habit of overthinking, of hesitating, of talking yourself out of it. It's a starting pistol for your brain that signals it's time for action, not debate. So what is the one stupidly small thing you are going to do as soon as you finish watching this video? Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about next week. What can you do right now? Is it putting a glass of water by your bed for tomorrow morning? Is it deleting the food delivery apps from your phone? Is it sending that one email you've been avoiding? Whatever it is, identify it right now. And then when you're ready, you're going to use the rule. We're going to do it together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Get up and do it. Your journey of 1,000 miles doesn't begin with a single step. It begins with the decision to take that step. It begins with the 5 seconds it takes to push yourself into motion. You have everything you need to bounce back. You have a new mindset, you have a new strategy, and now you have a tool to launch you into action. Failure is not your destiny. It was just a lesson. Your past does not define you. The choice you make in the next 5 seconds, that is what defines you. Your comeback story starts now. Failing doesn't make you a failure. Reset, take micro steps, and win. Subscribe to Money Magnet Minds for more.